Ready to bring Black history facts to life with extraordinary stories of courageous Americans you didn't learn in school? Let's get started. Born into slavery in 1848 and freed at 17, Robert Lemons faced a world of uncertainty. Lemons developed a unique bond with Mustangs, living among them to gain their trust. His gentle method stood out in a harsh world. Unlike others, Lemons rode the lead stallion to guide herds peacefully into corrals, becoming a legend in Mustanging. By age 22, he earned the equivalent of $20,000 with his unique method. By age 40, Lemons owned 1,200 acres near Carrizo Springs, Texas. Lemons helped shape Carrizo Springs by clearing land for cattle grazing, boosting the local economy. Married to Barbarita Rosales, their interracial union faced legal challenges. Their children were denied school access due to racial prejudice. Despite the harsh treatment, he was known for his generosity to neighbors of all races, even through the Great Depression. Highly respected until his passing at the age of 99, from slave to gentleman rancher, Bob Lemons remains the greatest Mustanger who ever lived. Being born into slavery, yet daring to dream of freedom. Meet Robert Smalls, a man who turned that dream into reality. Desperate to buy his family's freedom, Smalls faced an impossible $800 price. With only $100 saved, he knew it would take decades. As a skilled wheelman on the CSS Planter, Smalls knew the ship's routes and signals. He devised a daring plan. When the white crew left for the night, he put on the captain's uniform and straw hat, mimicking his movements to sneak past Confederate checkpoints to Fort Sumter. His escape rescued his family and other enslaved crew members and their families. Smalls' escape delivered not only his family but also crucial Confederate codes and artillery to the Union. His intelligence led to the capture of Coles Island without a fight. With prize money from capturing the ship, he bought businesses and his former master's house, instrumental in establishing South Carolina's Republican Party. Smalls served 5 terms in Congress, focusing on uplifting Black communities through education and civil rights. Robert Reed Church was born in 1839 in Mississippi to a white steamboat captain and an enslaved Black seamstress. Despite being born into slavery, he worked as a cabin boy on his father's steamboat where he gained invaluable business skills. He survived a steamboat sinking in 1855. Then, during the Civil War, worked on a Union steamer. After the war, Church settled in Memphis, opening a saloon and investing in real estate. He seized opportunities during the yellow fever epidemic, buying properties at depressed prices. During the Memphis race riot of 1866, Church was shot while defending his property from a white mob. Undeterred, he vowed to stay in Memphis and rebuild. As one of the South's first Black millionaires, during the Panic of 1907, he stopped a run on his bank by displaying stacks of money in the windows. He invested in his community by building Church's Park and Auditorium, a cultural hub for African Americans. Highly respected, Robert Reed Church left a legacy of empowerment for future generations. Mary McLeod Bethune rose from the cotton fields of South Carolina to the halls of the White House. Mary was born in 1875, the 15th of 17 children to former slaves. By age 9, Bethune could pick 250 pounds of cotton a day. At age 11, she attended school for the first time, walking 5 miles each way, fueled by her strong desire for an education. In 1904, she founded a school for African American girls with just $1.50. To raise funds, she and her students sold pies and homemade ice cream. Her school grew into Bethune-Cookman University. She was an advisor to multiple U.S. presidents on minority affairs, and founded the National Council of Negro Women in 1935, empowering the fight for civil rights and social equality. Charles Richard Patterson was born into slavery in Virginia in 1833. Escaping to Ohio, he became a skilled blacksmith, laying the groundwork for a future family legacy. In 1873, Patterson partnered with J.P. Lowe to start a carriage business. By 1893, he bought out Lowe's share, becoming the sole owner of C.R. Patterson and Sons, employing an integrated workforce of 35 to 50 craftsmen. After Charles's passing in 1910, his son Frederick took over. With vision and determination, Frederick transitioned the company from carriages to automobiles, launching the Patterson Greenfield car in 1915. As the automobile industry evolved, the company shifted focus to bus and truck manufacturing, securing contracts with school boards and transit companies across the Midwest. Frederick's son, Postel Patterson, continued the family tradition into the Great Depression, until industry changes and discriminatory banking practices left them without access to necessary financing. Still, their legacy remains an inspiration. Meet Francis Johnson, born in 1792 in Philadelphia, a musical genius who would become the father of the American pop concert. His compositions ranged from lively cotillions to elegant waltzes, setting the stage for a new era in music. In a racially divided America, Johnson faced prejudice at every turn. Yet, he found his voice through music, performing at balls and social events where his talent could not be ignored. Johnson shattered norms by publishing sheet music and leading one of America's first racially integrated bands. In 1837, he led a groundbreaking European tour. Performing for Queen Victoria at Buckingham Palace, he dazzled the audience with his cornet solos. She was so impressed she gifted Johnson a silver bugle. Back in America, Johnson faced a hostile mob in St. Louis, but stood firm with his band, using music to resist racism and promote unity. Francis Johnson was the first American to advertise his concerts by introducing playbills and drawing large integrated crowds to his Philadelphia Promenade events, creating the first American pop concert. Born into slavery in 1848, Susie King Taylor escaped at age 14 with her uncle to a Union gunboat during the Civil War. This daring move marked the beginning of her incredible journey. Despite laws against educating African Americans, Susie learned to read and write in secret schools. Her literacy became a powerful tool for teaching others. She served as an unpaid nurse for the 33rd U.S. Colored Troops, tending to wounded soldiers, and also taught many soldiers to read and write. On St. Simon's Island, Susie opened a school for children. She taught black children by day and adults by night, breaking barriers in education. After the war, Susie moved to Savannah with her husband Sergeant Edward King and started a school for freed children. Despite personal losses, she continued her mission to educate. Her memoirs, published in 1902, are the only first-hand account of Civil War experiences by a black woman. Her story is one of courage and relentless dedication to helping others. Born in 1892, Bessie Coleman was inspired by her brother's tales of women pilots he encountered while serving in World War I. Bessie Coleman was inspired by Marcus Garvey's vision of black empowerment and self-reliance. Garvey believed that mastering aviation could uplift the African American community. Working as a manicurist, Bessie met Robert Abbott, publisher of the Chicago Defender. Recognizing the impact of a black woman pilot, Abbott helped secure financial backing for her training. Despite facing rejection from American flight schools, she learned French and traveled to France, becoming the first American woman to earn an international pilot's license 2 years before Amelia Earhart. With no commercial opportunities, Coleman performed thrilling stunts across the U.S. to fund her flight school for black Americans. Her fame allowed her to refuse to perform for segregated audiences. Bessie's courage inspired her friend Josephine Baker to earn her pilot's license and serve as a sub-lieutenant in the French Air Force. Tragically, Bessie Coleman passed away in a plane crash, risking it all to empower her people. In pre-Civil War Philadelphia, amidst societal challenges, a free black man was about to transform the ice cream industry. Meet Augustus Jackson, a former White House chef and pioneering entrepreneur, known as the father of ice cream. Starting at age 9, Jackson served Presidents Monroe, Adams, and Jackson for 20 years, mastering desserts and experimenting with recipes. He innovated with eggless recipes and salt for better texture, making ice cream more stable and accessible to all. After leaving the White House, Jackson opened a catering business in Philadelphia. He created flavors like strawberry and mint, selling tins for $1 a quart to black-owned parlors, empowering them financially. Becoming one of Philadelphia's wealthiest men, Jackson's techniques still influence how ice cream is made today. Did any of these facts surprise you? Tell us your favorite or most interesting one in the comments. Now for more Black history facts. Imagine being enslaved, forced to trek 2,000 miles, to becoming one of LA's wealthiest real estate moguls. Meet Biddy Mason. In 1848, Biddy Mason was forced to walk with Robert Smith's caravan along the Mormon Trail, enduring treacherous conditions for 7 months while herding livestock, cooking meals, and caring for her children. Despite California being a free state, Smith illegally kept Biddy enslaved and planned to take her to Texas to sell her. In 1856, she found the courage to sue for freedom after friends alerted her of California's laws. Judge Hayes circumvented racist laws preventing black testimony and ruled in her favor. Biddy moved to Los Angeles, where her midwifery skills made her a sought-after nurse, earning $2.50 a day, a fortune at the time. Biddy invested wisely in Los Angeles real estate, amassing a net worth of about $10 million today. Living modestly, Biddy used her wealth to help others, founding LA's first black church. She generously aided those in need. Her example continues to inspire. In the vibrant city of Philadelphia in 1881, a child named Julian Abel was born into a family with a legacy of resilience and excellence. His father, a Civil War veteran, instilled in him the values of hard work and perseverance. His mother, a skilled milliner, nurtured his creative talents from an early age. Julian's family heritage was rich with prominent black figures. He was related to Reverend Absalom Jones, the first black Episcopal priest and founder of the Free African Society. His parents ensured that all their 11 children had a quality education, attending schools like the Institute for Colored Youth. At 21, he became the first black graduate of the University of Pennsylvania's architecture program in 1902. Then he became chief designer at Horace Trumbauer's firm, designing over 400 buildings, including Duke University's West Campus and the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Despite Abel's pivotal role, he was excluded from grand openings, official photographs, and denied credit in publications even after he became co-head of the firm. Unstoppable, Abel's genius is finally recognized today. Born into slavery in 1813, James McCune Smith was freed at 14 by New York's Emancipation Act of 1827. He saw learning as the key to unlocking a better future and fighting injustice. His passion for education led him to be a star pupil at the African Free School, established to educate children of slaves and free people of color in New York City. Denied entry to American universities, Smith sailed to Scotland, earning a bachelor's, master's, and becoming the first African American to receive a medical degree at Glasgow University. Returning to New York in 1837, he opened America's first black-owned pharmacy, serving both black and white patients. Smith's pharmacy became a hub for abolitionists, hosting secret meetings and aiding the Underground Railroad. As a physician and statistician, Smith challenged racist pseudoscience, using data to debunk myths about black inferiority in medical journals and public lectures. James McCune Smith, doctor, scholar, activist. He broke barriers so others could follow. In the heart of Richmond, Virginia, in 1864, a girl named Maggie Lena Walker was born to formerly enslaved parents. Little did she know, she would one day change the financial landscape for black Americans forever. After losing her father at a young age, Maggie watched her mother struggle to provide. This ignited her passion for change. At just 14, she joined the Independent Order of St. Luke, a fraternal organization dedicated to uplifting black Americans. As she grew, so did her influence. Maggie became Grand Secretary of the Order, which was on the brink of bankruptcy. With determination and vision, she revitalized it, turning it into a thriving organization that empowered the community. Maggie saw a critical need for financial independence.
Let us put our money together. Let us use our money. Let us put our money out at usury among ourselves.
In 1903, she founded the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank, becoming the first woman to charter a bank in the U.S. Her bank financed over 600 home and business loans. It remains the oldest continuously operated black-owned bank in America. Imagine a woman who stitched her way from slavery to the White House. This is the remarkable story of Elizabeth Keckley, America's first black fashion designer to dress a first lady. Born into slavery, Keckley learned sewing from her mother. Her talent was so great, she supported her master's household of 18. She used her skills to buy her and her son's freedom. With her hard-earned liberty, Keckley moved to Washington, D.C. and opened her own dressmaking business. Her exquisite designs and impeccable craftsmanship quickly caught the eye of the Capitol's elite, including Mary Todd Lincoln, wife of President Abraham Lincoln. Keckley's creations introduced clean lines and elegant simplicity to American fashion, moving away from ornate European styles. Keckley became a confidant to Mrs. Lincoln and used her influence to found the Contraband Relief Association to help freed slaves. From enslaved to successful businesswoman, Elizabeth Keckley changed American fashion and proved that talent and determination can break any barrier. Meet Sissy Jones, an extraordinary talent whose voice could silence a room and whose story defied the odds. Born in 1868, whispers in concert halls questioned whether a colored woman could captivate audiences. Yet, she transformed doubt into admiration with her powerful soprano, and international acclaimed singer performing for European royalty and 4 U.S. presidents. Jones was barred from the Metropolitan Opera House, despite being considered the greatest singer of her generation. Undeterred, Jones became a celebrated figure in her own right. Dubbed the Black Patty, she initially disliked the nickname that reduced her individuality to a mere comparison, but recognized its marketability. She embraced it for her troupe, using it to grab attention and break through barriers. Her rise was meteoric. In 1892, she became the first black American woman to perform at Carnegie Hall. Sissy was not just a star, she was a savvy businesswoman. Her net worth was estimated at $1 million, a fortune in her time. Her unapologetic artistry challenged society to recognize that ability has no color. Meet Jeremiah G. Hamilton, a formidable figure in 19th century finance. Hamilton was nicknamed Prince of Darkness for his secretive and aggressive business tactics that outsmarted his rivals. The first black millionaire on Wall Street, Hamilton amassed a fortune of $2 million. That equals $250 million today. Hamilton was one of the few investors who shorted stocks during market downturns. He bested many rivals, including prominent financiers like Cornelius Vanderbilt. Hamilton challenged himself to achieve what others thought impossible, proving that determination can break barriers. Imagine turning private whispers into a $900 million fortune. A former slave turned domestic servant, Mary Ellen Pleasant, arrived in gold rush-era San Francisco with a brilliant plan. While working for wealthy families, she cleverly absorbed their business conversations, gathering priceless insider information. Pleasant made savvy investments in real estate, restaurants, and boarding houses. Her empire grew rapidly, fueled by her sharp mind and relentless ambition. Soon, she became one of the richest people in San Francisco, with a fortune estimated at $30 million, nearly $900 million in today's money. What makes Pleasant truly phenomenal is how she used her wealth. She funded abolitionist causes and helped countless escaped slaves find freedom. Pleasant transformed herself into a millionaire philanthropist, using her success to fight for equality and justice. Mary Ellen Pleasant's incredible journey shows us that anyone can overcome tremendous odds. What if Thomas Edison, the most famous inventor of the era, tried to steal your groundbreaking idea? Granville Woods faced this very challenge when Thomas Edison attempted to claim his induction telegraph patent. In a surprising twist, Woods successfully defended his invention against the Titan not once but twice. Recognizing Woods' talent, Edison offered him a lucrative job, but Woods refused. He chose independence and opened the Woods Electric Company in New York City with profits from another patent he sold to Alexander Graham Bell. He continued to innovate, earning over 50 patents and leaving an indelible mark on the transportation and communication industries. Ironically, he would be known as the Black Edison. Let his story remind you to believe in yourself and fight for your dreams, no matter who stands in your way. Imagine a woman who stitched her way from slavery to the White House. This is the remarkable story of Elizabeth Keckley, America's first black fashion designer to dress a first lady. Born into slavery, Keckley learned sewing from her mother. Her talent was so great, she supported her master's household of 18. She used her skills to buy her and her son's freedom. With her hard-earned liberty, Keckley moved to Washington, D.C. and opened her own dressmaking business. Her exquisite designs and impeccable craftsmanship quickly caught the eye of the Capitol's elite, including Mary Todd Lincoln, wife of President Abraham Lincoln. Keckley's creations introduced clean lines and elegant simplicity to American fashion, moving away from ornate European styles. Keckley became a confidant to Mrs. Lincoln and used her influence to found the Contraband Relief Association to help freed slaves. From enslaved to successful businesswoman, Elizabeth Keckley changed American fashion and proved that talent and determination can break. You know this founding father? Born to free black parents in Philadelphia in 1766, young James Forten faced a life-altering tragedy when his father died in a boating accident. Raised by his mother, James was educated at a Quaker school. At age 8, he began working at Robert Bridges' sail loft to support his family. As a teenager, Forten served on an American privateer during the Revolutionary War. Captured by the British, he narrowly escaped being sold into slavery. After the war, Forten returned to Philadelphia and became an apprentice to Robert Bridges, his father's former employer. His skills and work ethic quickly earned him a promotion to foreman. By 1798, Forten had not only mastered sailmaking but also purchased a business, creating an integrated workforce, a rarity at the time. Forten used his wealth to support anti-slavery causes. He was a key figure in funding the Liberator newspaper. James Forten and his family supported education for black children in Philadelphia by helping to open the first tax-supported school for African American students. They also established a scholarship at the Oneida Institute, which provided free tuition and boarding for deserving students. Forten was one of the wealthiest black Americans supporting abolitionist causes. A Revolutionary War veteran and successful businessman, he is a founding father who fought for equality for all Americans. In the heat of a Baltimore summer, young Frederick Douglass crouched in the shadows of his master's house, his heart pounding with a dangerous secret. He had tasted the forbidden fruit of knowledge, and now there was no going back. It all began when his mistress, in a rare moment of kindness, started teaching him the alphabet. But when her husband discovered this, his fury erupted like a volcano. "It will unfit him to be a slave," he roared, and suddenly, the mistress transformed from teacher to tyrant, snatching away books and scolding Douglas for even glancing at a newspaper. But Douglas wasn't about to let his dream of literacy die. With a cunning that belied his years, he hatched a plan. Armed with nothing but scraps of bread saved from his meager meals, he ventured into the streets of Baltimore. There, he struck deals with white boys his age, trading food for lessons in reading and writing. Douglas proved that even in the face of oppression, a determined mind can find a way to break free. Douglas transformed himself from a slave denied education to one of the foremost speakers of his time. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Frederick Douglass. In the heart of the bustling streets of early 20th century Cleveland, a young Garrett Morgan stood amidst the chaos of carriages, automobiles, and pedestrians. Born in Kentucky to parents who had been enslaved, Morgan moved to Cleveland with just a sixth-grade education, driven by an unyielding desire to invent and improve the world around him. One day, he witnessed a horrific accident, a collision between a car and a horse-drawn carriage. This moment sparked an idea that would change traffic safety forever. Morgan envisioned a traffic signal that included a caution light, a revolutionary concept at the time, designed to prevent such accidents by giving drivers time to react. Despite facing racial prejudices that could have stifled his ambitions, Morgan's determination led him to patent this life-saving device. He later sold the rights to General Electric for $40,000. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.